First, when I see all this, it reminds me of the bad publicity that Tana River has gotten from almost the past 50 years. Because we wonder, what is it that this county government for the last 9-10 years, it has done so many good things. But now the media has chosen to pick a very, just one issue in our governance and blown it out of proportion. So that is the first perception that I got from last week. Yeah, but like I kept on saying, His Excellency the Governor has a social contract with the people of Tana. We sat down, evaluated. We know we had the time, of course, 5 years to deliver. We had financial resources, but then we looked at human resource gaps and equipments. So a decision was made that based on the challenges we have in transport, we made a decision to acquire new motor vehicles. So we went ahead and allocated resources, and due process was followed according to the Public Procurement and Disposal Act, and the motor vehicles were acquired, and the motorbikes were acquired. So when someone wakes up and say we have purchased borders, we feel offended, because what we've purchased, the standard motorbikes that we use, especially for extension services, and it should go on record that this government has never purchased borders. Nevertheless, issues were raised along the way. First with the County Assembly of TANARIVER, which we have accounted for, both on the process, issues on value for money, and even when these issues were escalated to EACC, they conducted interviews both here in Hola and in Nairobi. I personally went to Integrity House in my personal capacity, the person of the CEC Finance, and gave my testimony and wrote a statement gave my comments on the process and all that. So I still believe that these issues can better be prosecuted within the established institutions. I understand that the DPP has not given it a nod yet. It's the only office established in the land, a constitutional office that will look at the threshold, the allegations, and recommend whether this should move to full prosecution.
Kitu ningesema, hili jambo ama hino process imefanya 2018-2019. Swali, why now? Just to put the perspective of, there could be some injection of politics in it. Because tumefanya process hiyo, tumecooperate, tumeonyesha ile process tuliofanya kama waziri alivyosema. Lakini tukingojea mpaka leo, just a few months into electioneering, then we feel a little bit of cheekiness in the whole thing. Yes, these oversight institutions, they have the right to do their job. They have a mandate. We cooperate with them, as Waziri has said. But tukingojea mpaka leo, alafu tena we zero in. Out of 3, we start from 3, we narrow to 1, and then expound on the 1. Hilo ni jambo ambalo pengine tuko na dukuduku ya kwamba why. And then from very senior people, ningesema pengine si sawa kwamba wananchi ni kupatiwa sumu, or ni kupatiwa ni uchochezi kwa mwananchi. Mwananchi is gullible, as Waziri said. Kile watakachosikia kutoka that level, then what I believe. kwamba maybe kuna kitu ambacho si sawa. Lakini what I will really tell you is the process is clear. We have all information. If one needs to get to it, we look at it. We saw the LSO being flashed on TV. Description of that LSO. Why don't we go line by item, line by line? What was this? Where is it? Is this one? This is the price. Yes, this is the price. Why this kind of a price? Yes, that we can answer that.
And that's a due process.
That's a due process, and we say it is the right thing to do, but not in the public space where we are being left to prosecution by the public. I don't think that's right.
And even if that happens, I mean, it's part of any public office. We are supposed to deal with issues of public finance in an open, transparent, and accountable way. So accounting for public resources is part and parcel of that mandate that you took an office. I mean, you took an oath to do. So we are not worried about that. We only have an issue when these issues are prosecuted in the court of public opinion. You know, sometimes the public can be gullible. I mean, they can buy into anything. Like we were saying, if someone says you've bought a boda at 800,000, straight on, the average Kenyan will say money was lost. But we did not buy boda. So we are saying, can we be fair to us as a county, and be fair to us as a public institution, that if there are any issues raised, we are ready to account, which we have done. Beside this issue, there are many issues that we have accounted. We have accounted for, either internally, from accounting officers to either the CS&I, or from the executive to the county assembly. This is a daily business in government. And then what has also surprised me is that this story was first aired on a Thursday, where 3 counties were mentioned, I mean, with some cases to answer. But then a few days later on Sunday, I mean, media will only zoom in on Tana River.
Ukianza kunipaka matope kwa moja, ambalo pengine hatujakaa tukalizungumza vizuri, ama kama kweli ni makosa, then kuna process ya kufuata. Iwe inawekwa hadharani, inawekwa, yes, it's openness, but this is subject to a process, whereas was it said, a nod from the DPP, then yes, isemekane kwamba lazima tujibu mashtaka hayo kama serikali. Now I'm not even talking about one individual, kama serikali. Na hiyo ndio process ambayo ilikuwa nataka naifanye. Lakini kuanikwa sidhani kwamba kuna nia nzuri. Yeah.
Kwa nini imekuja sasa hivi kwa miaka 2 iliyopita? Kwa maoni yako tu.
Gesi yako ni kama vizuri kama yangu. Ni siasa, because wakati wa siasa ni msimu wa kupakana matope. Let me say that. But to be fair, let's be fair. Kuna mazuri mengi, tafadhalini nyinyi kama wanahabari, tuangazie pia yale mazuri. Ili msiwache, lakini tuangazie pia mazuri yale ambayo yako. Tuseme katika haya kama nilivyokuambia 9 mazuri, 1 baya. Liangazie lile moja, lakini yale 9 pia tuyaangazie.